Well, it's our final day here in Orlando at Universal Studios anyways. We're gonna go back into the park and have a little fun. Today we're going to be looking at some of my favorite rides from old Universal Studios, and one of the most memorable just about everybody thinks of when you think of the old Universal is Jaws the ride. Right here behind me is a reference to that ride. This has been here a very long time. This is Bruce from Jaws. Right all the way right now. There are several other references to Jaws here in the park. This being the biggest of them all, especially with the sign right here that says Jaws. I'm going to show you the other references to the Jaws the ride that are here in the park right now. We're all nostalgic to some degree, but me, I'm super nostalgic. And I remember being here in Universal as a kid and riding stuff like Jaws and E.T., Back to the Future, Twister, the King Kong ride, and a bunch of others. First, let's find all the nods to Jaws the ride that are scattered throughout this park. And then, let's see what else we can find from the Universal that we all remember from our childhoods. After Bruce, the next reference to Jaws the ride is located right here in London. In fact, it's directly here in front of us. If you look right there on that building, you see where it says record shop. Right here in the window of this record shop is a reference to Jaws the ride that used to sit right here. You might recognize. Here's to Swimming with Bow-Legged Women. The Quint Trio, the character in Jaws that said that, his name is Quint.
Here's to Swimming with Bow-Legged Women.
Right here next to King's Cross train station is another little nod to Jaws, Amity Island Lobster Company.
Larry, we have to close the beaches. Brody? Sick vandalism.
To get to the rest of the Jaws references, we have to enter the wizarding world of Harry Potter. I know it doesn't look like much, but this is the entrance to Harry Potter, and you can check out my Harry Potter video to see more on that. If you look, you're right here at the Diagon Alley Apothecary, and you look right in this window. If you look right behind the plants, you'll see that you can see the jaw of a great white shark hanging right there. This is also from the movie. It's in the same scene where Quint says, here's to Swimming with Bow-Legged Women, and if you look right behind Brody, it's right there.
Ready to fly, Iranian caviar, and don't forget the color TV.
We're now entering Nocturne Alley. These heads here in the window are the next Jaws reference. They actually sing the song played in Jaws the movie. You can always hear me sing this song. Show me the way to go. Here in the queue line for Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts, we find another Jaws reference. And it's a crate from Jaws the Ride, sitting just to the right of the screen. To find the next Jaws mention, we're going to enter Wiseacre's Wizarding Equipment, right out in front of Gringotts. If you look up, coming into Wiseacre's, you look up on the second row, you'll see all the brass telescopes all around. All of these items were made from parts from Jaws the Ride. All of them. They reused all the brass from that ride to make these telescopes. If you come back here to the hopping pot where you can get butterbeer, all of this, these buildings that you see here, for the blacksmith, the chains you see here holding up the giant barrel, all of the metal and all of the rope and all of the steel that's inside of this blacksmith shop was all part of Jaws the Ride. It was all on the ride. So everything you see here, that you see the ladder and these chains, all of the ropes, all of it was used on Jaws the Ride. So that entire section of Diagon Alley was built over top of what used to be Jaws the Ride. So where they had the lagoon that you would ride the boat around and Jaws would come in and out, all that was filled in, and they built the Wizarding World of Harry Potter over the top of it. Now that we have found the references to Jaws the Ride, let's take a look around Universal Studios and see if we can spot where some of our favorite rides used to sit from Universal's glory days. They removed Disaster and Beetlejuice's Rock and Roll Graveyard Review to put that one building in Fast and Furious Supercharged, which is probably one of my least favorite rides here in the park. If you remember Disaster Earthquake, you probably remember this facade right here, because it's exactly the same. This building here used to be King Kong, Kongfrontation.
The trooper crashed on the bridge! Hey guys!
And actually, on the ride itself, in one scene, they pay homage to King Kong. There's a small golden King Kong statue, which is there to pay homage. This building should look very familiar to a lot of you because it still looks exactly like the Ghostbusters firehouse all these years later. I can't believe it still looks the exact same. Well, except for the obvious, you know, the Hollywood Rip Ride rocket running through it there. Other than that, nothing's changed. The Ghostbusters, they would come out in their car and do like a show out here. Right here was the Ghostbusters firehouse. And even if you look over here to the right, they still have, on the window, it still says Above and Beyond, a paranormal travel agent. I remember when this was Ghostbusters, they did a show right here on the steps of the New York Public Library. The memories, all the memories.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly.
Favorite rides from Universal in the past. Actually said right here where Jimmy Fallon, where the Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon's ride entrance is. Once upon a time, this was Twister, the ride. And you would go into this auditorium and they would have a a show where signs would fall over and cows would come flying by and it would rain and wind, and all of that took place right here. They tore it down and remodeled, and now it's the Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. And last, but certainly not the least, as a young child, whenever my family would come to Universal Studios, this was always one of my favorite places to visit in Universal Studios. Now, it wasn't Blue Man Group then. This building was Nickelodeon Studios.
Nickelodeon. I cannot believe I'm at Nickelodeon Studios.
We are leaving Universal for the final time. This was the last video from inside Universal property. Unfortunately, we will be back soon though, don't worry. We're not leaving Orlando quite yet though. I have other plans in mind. I want to thank you all for watching. If you want to help support the channel, check out the links down in the description box below. It's much appreciated, and you'll get your name scrolling at the end of each video like what's fixing to pop up. Thank you all. I'll see you tomorrow. I hope you have a great day.
Good morning, sun. How are you? Skies above. Gee, it's great to be alive and love. Good morning, sun. Good morning. Good morning, sun. How are you? Skies above. Gee, it's great to be alive and